Hey guys, I am back. Now, this is a spoiler alert. This is Power Book 2 summary or like a snippet summary, if you will. It's a short info about what has happened on the two leaked episodes. So the season is 10 seasons, and we are in our what you would call a bye week, if you will, like they say in football. This is our bye week. So today is Mother's Day. They are not, I don't know if that had anything to do with them skipping this week on Stars, but they're not airing episode 9 this week. So it will return next week. If you do not want to hear any spoilers and you would like to wait for me to do my regular review of Power Book 2, Season 3, Episode 9, then cut this off and come back next Saturday or Sunday next week. I'll post my review of Episode 9. But if you don't mind, or some of you have already seen the spoilers, so I will go ahead and do a little bit of talk about what I thought thus far. Not going into too much detail, but there will be spoilers. So just give your heads up. Spoiler alert, episode 9 and 10. All right. So in episode 9, there's a few things that we see that has to be discussed, that has to be taken care of before episode 10. And that is we got the Castiles. I don't think this should come as no surprise. The Castiles, they are looking for Gordo. They saw the video on YouTube with Drew discussing how he's lost everything. He has lost, Gordo is gone and all of that. And he had just recently had mentioned how, in episode 8, he said that he hadn't heard from Gordo, even though things are going well for them. So to get to do a 360, got them, Evelyn and the brothers wanting to find some answers. So, that is where we are now in episode 9 with them. Again, still trying to get some understanding and clarity based on information that Drew said on a video. So that is brought up in episode 9. That question does come to fruition. We do see Evelyn does have a conversation again with Monet to try to get some, again, what's going on. Like, I don't feel like the truth is coming out there. So that shouldn't be a surprise. I mean, it is a spoiler, but not really a spoiler, because we know that they're looking for Gordo and they need to get some answers. And we even saw in the previews where Drew was like, he said that I realize they are not going to stop until they find me. So we're going to have to figure out what it is that we need to do, what our next steps are. And they do make a next step. It's either going to be one or two things. Is there a positive outcome for Drew? So one would be for Drew to go and talk to the Castiles or talk to Evelyn and say, tell the truth. Do you think that would turn out positive for Drew? Probably not. The second is to take a more drastic notion here and just completely silence the whole issue. Is that the better outcome? Well, one of those two things did occur in episode 9. So there was resolution made to that situation. And you can kind of get a hint where I'm going with that, okay? So that's the Castile situation. That is discussed in episode 9. It is an issue that, in my prediction, going into season 4, because we don't discuss the Castiles in episode 10. I think at that point, everything has been said and done. Season 4, do I think anybody from the Castile family will come up or come out? I doubt it. I think that complete storyline on that issue is probably gone, okay? So that's that. Now let's talk about something else here. Cooper Saxe, who we know in episode 8, unfortunately, Theo Rollins, he killed Cooper Saxe. And I said, Jenny needs not to shed a tear, because the way she used Cooper and then took away his protection, now, he's gone now. She finds out about it, goes and sees the body, and she's all tore up and she's all upset and all of this. I really was not impressed with that. I'm just gonna put that out there. I just didn't care about those tears. I just felt like, girl, if this ain't the most fraudulent stuff I've ever seen. So, but yeah, she shed some tears. And I don't understand why. But Cooper, and this is the part I don't understand with Cooper is I guess he prepared these letters to send to various people in the event that he is no longer with us. So a lot of different people got letters from Cooper Sacks, giving his last hurrah, what have you, what have you. And we can talk a little bit more in detail about these letters next week. But these letters are out there. They're going to different people like Monet. They're going to Jenny. If I go to, let me see, Monet, Jenny. Did Tariq get a letter? I'm not so sure if Tariq got a letter. I don't know if Tariq got a letter or not. That is a good question. I did see episode 9, but I don't recall if Tariq received a letter. Maybe he did. I can't say for certain. I'll have to go back and look again when it airs, actually. But a lot of letters have gone out there. This is his goodbye, his swan song, his last hurrah from the grave. Some other things that are tested and looked into is friendship. And who's going to stick by you and who isn't going to stick by you. Braden and Tariq's relationship. Now, we know we've seen them close, and then we've seen them get kind of, moved further apart after we find out that Lauren is alive. And when Tariq found out that Lauren's alive, he became a little bit more distant with both Braden and Effie. So now that the cat's out the bag, they all know that Lauren is alive. Tariq and Braden are kind of, it's a very shaky ground that they're dealing with in episode 9. Real shaky ground. A lot of things are happening. They need each other. And I'll leave it at that. They need each other. But again, with Tariq, he's always been the thinker, as Monet called it. See episode 7? She said that Tariq has always been her thinker. You just never know who's going to turn their back on you. The one good thing I'm going to say about Kane is he's consistent. He's never liked Tariq. He tolerates and deals with Tariq because that's what it's a need to do so. So Kane's behavior, Kane's reactions, Kane's suggestions as it pertains to Tariq should not come as a surprise. Because when he tells Effie to turn on Tariq, and because Tariq is who they really want, he's true. He really is Tariq and Monet. Yes, that is true. But the fact that he hurried up and said, throw Tariq under the bus, how you gonna throw Tariq under the bus, Kane, and not have yourself thrown on the bus as well? Because if Effie were to throw Tariq under the bus, she got to throw the whole organization under the bus. It just can't be just Tariq and Tariq acting alone. So I didn't feel as though Kane really looked at that situation and thought about what he was asking, because he's so blinded by jealousy of Tariq. Her telling on Tariq and his operation that he had at Stansfield, his operation he got working with the Tejadas, his operation he got working with Norma, and all that's included in this operation does include you, Kane. So that was not a smart idea. So in episode 9, we don't get, we do find out that Effie, that Effie realizes just really, she sees what her options are. And one thing she's not going to do is be a rat. Okay. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Moving on with other situations. So Western Holdings, we know that I never trusted how Lucas was going to handle this situation. But come to find out, which I did mention also in one of my previous reviews, you're running a Ponzi scheme. At some point, you got all these investors putting money into a pot that doesn't give them a return on their investment. the money is gone. Maybe they get a little bit of their money, but they're not getting they're not going to get exactly what they're supposed to be getting. Somebody's going to say something at some point in time. So the fact remains that somebody was already watching what was happening. Okay. There were questions on the table about some statements and things of that nature. And it does come to a head where now the FBI is seizing stuff, computers and things like that, and they're looking into Western Holdings. Okay. So that should come as no surprise. And with that, what happens with Uncle Lucas? And how is he going to handle this situation? Of course, when the feds are coming around to get all the belongings, Uncle Lucas ain't around. What a shocker. So it's going to be interesting. I'm not going to give all of what happened in episode 9 away, but just know Western Holdings is under investigation for some fraudulent things, and Uncle Lucas mysteriously disappears. Mm-hmm. How is that going to be resolved? We get some visits from people from the original Power. We see Tasha. We see Tommy. We see, in episode 9, we see 2-Bit. They make brief appearances. The good thing that I'm going to say about these individuals that I mentioned, them coming back into the fold, them seeing what's going on with Tariq, knowing what's happening, the mess that Tariq is in. I'm hoping in season 4, those individuals come back. They probably will have to. When we talk a little bit about episode 10, I was supposed to talk a little bit about it here, but in regards to episode 10, it definitely looks like those individuals should or have to come back at some time, because Tariq is in real deep. So deep to the point that I don't see how he's got to have help to get him out of the situation that he's in. He's going to have help. He's in a bad, like when I say he's in a bad situation and folks have turned their back on Tariq, except for Brandon, it's not a good look. I'm going to leave it at that. But yeah, Tommy is back and things like that. He makes an appearance, but he doesn't stay. Tasha's trying to help Tariq out somewhat, but, she doesn't stay. 2-Bit comes in and I don't know what he was doing, but he leaves. So I'm going to leave it at that. That's pretty much your episode 9, okay? Oh, Congressman Tate. Child, he really hasn't changed. And he told Harper he did change and that he's going to be a better person and honest and this and that. Tate is a bought man. He can be purchased. So we're going to leave that at that. That's episode 9. In episode 10 is when a lot of things come to a head. And I'm just going to say this about episode 10. You can't trust everybody. And there's definitely a plan of attack. There's definitely some revelations. There's definitely some people that are going to make a decision to do their own thing. And it's not going to turn out very favorably for Tariq. Braden is a different person. You see the change immediately with Braden. He has become the person that he did not want to become. And he is now that person. As far as Jenny and the Rico is concerned, there's definitely going to be some revelations made there. Yeah. I'm going to say this, because I've said a lot. Some of this has been spoilers, but I haven't gone into the weeds with a lot of things. I haven't really gotten very detailed, but what I would say for the season 4, my prediction, I can't really give it away. Here's what I'm going to say. Tariq, you need a different game plan, and you need different players, and it's going to be something. Hell going to have to be paid in season 4. That's all I'm saying. I've said enough. Thank you for listening. I'll be back next week to talk about season 9 when it actually airs. Talk to you guys later. Peace.